big continent? Luo Feng stood within the universe ship, gazing at the distant universe space at the boundless floating continent, his eyes wide open. Planets, stars, nebulae etc. all sorts of celestial bodies, drifting in the universe he had seen too many of them. Even if he occasionally saw some universe ship wreckage, or even a living space beast, Luo Feng wouldn't be shocked. However, to see an incomparably vast continent in the universe, it was simply too shocking. This wasn't the virtual universe, this was reality. How big is this? Luo Feng was speechless. This floating continent in space had stars and planets beside it, they were practically sesame seeds. Even the universe ship continued to fly closer. After flying for a while, it still felt like the continent was so far away. It's tens of millions of times bigger than any planet I've ever seen, it's too big. Luo Feng held his breath. Your Majesty, how's the company's headquarters? The skinny old man beside smiled. Luo Feng asked curiously, how big is the headquarters? How big? The skinny old man shook his head. If we don't use universe travel to enter the dark universe. To use a universe ship to fly from one side of the headquarters to the other, it would take at least a few decades. You mean? Luo Feng was shocked. Its diameter is about 10 light years? A light year was a little more than 9 trillion kilometers. Earth's diameter was only about 10,000 kilometers. No wonder some of the stars and planets in the distance felt like sesame seeds. This continent floating in space was really ridiculously huge. Acham. The silver-haired skinny old man nodded. Such a huge continent, where did it come from? Luo Feng couldn't help but ask, how can such a huge continent form naturally in the universe? Even though the universe was mysterious, with many magical places, the birth of a continent with a diameter of 10 light years was still unbelievable. Not sure. The skinny old man shook his head. Luo Feng didn't ask any more. Even though he could see the vast continent in the distant space, the F-grade universe ship that was flying at light speed still took about 13 hours to reach one of the entrances to the virtual universe company's headquarters. During the flight, Luo Feng only felt that the entire continent's construction was beautiful and dreamy. It seemed like a natural beauty of the universe. However, as the ship entered the continent, Luo Feng could still feel the advanced technology behind it. Your Majesty, the stars, planets, meteorites and other celestial bodies around the headquarters continent are actually terrifying technological weapons. Within the luxurious hall of the ship, the skinny old man introduced. Oh. Luo Feng nodded. With the company's methods, those stars and planets are indeed like toys for them to play with. Even Undying Realm experts could play with stars. With the unbelievable technology of the Virtual Universe Company, those modified stars and planets that even a Sector Lord knew were weapons, they were probably just decorations. The true defensive trump card of the Virtual Universe Company, how could it be so simple? Oh. The spaceship flew at sublight speed for a few minutes before finally slowing down and coming to a stop. Luo Feng, along with Sector Lord Xiaowu and the others, flew out of the cabin door. There were about 10 uniformed men and women waiting outside. When Luo Feng arrived, the leader of the group was a silver-armored green-horned man. He said respectfully, Your Majesty Luo Feng, the knight has ordered us to wait here, please follow me. Luo Feng nodded. Xiaowu thanks. Luo Feng turned to look at the skinny old man. Realm Lord Xiaowu smiled, It is my honor to be able to accompany your highness for 3 years. Then the two of them parted ways. Luo Feng, the silver-armored green-horned man and the others walked along this dreamy pathway. The second half of the pathway was transparent. One could see the beautiful starry sky outside and the surrounding mountains. Your Majesty Luo Feng, Your Majesty Luo Feng. There were already 3 people waiting in the pathway. Luo Feng looked curiously at them. Your Majesty, these are the items you bought. According to Your Majesty's request, you can exchange them here at the headquarters. The 3 immediately handed over the items. As Luo Feng had been traveling in the dark universe for 3 years, plus these 3 years were spent training in the virtual universe, hence when he spent his points to exchange for the gold shadow blade, absolute space shield, life fruit and swelling water fruit, he didn't ask for the goods to be delivered immediately. Anyway, the cloud contact vine still had food in reserve, he decided to deliver them at the headquarters. Of course, techniques like the illusionary techniques, he naturally learned them in the virtual universe. Thanks. Luo Feng opened it and immediately kept it in his space ring. After a while, Luo Feng was brought into an oval-shaped large hall. The entire hall and its surroundings were transparent. Raising his head, he could see the endless starry sky. From afar he could see the beautiful scenery of the headquarters. He could also see universe ships and even Undyings flying past like shooting stars. Luo Feng. Madman, you're here. Haha, madman. The moment Luo Feng entered, he was immediately welcomed by many. Long Yun Wuka Jiang Mo. Luo Feng smiled and greeted them one by one. Training hard in Yuxiang Mountain for 3 years, he and his batch of youths naturally interacted with each other. In these 3 years, other than a few who were extremely lonely, most of them became friends, at least they could chat and laugh. Maybe many of them were proud and aloof in the past, but that was because they were too lonely and had never met an exceptional opponent of the same level. And to be able to enter the top 1000 of the genius battle, they at least acknowledged each other's strength. Making friends was normal. Rong Jun isn't here yet? Luo Feng surveyed his surroundings. He's almost here, he's about to enter the headquarters. The Menka youth Wuka smiled casually, Come, sit here. Since they were all in the absolute beginning region, the 8 of them were very close. Looking at where everyone was sitting in the large hall, one could tell, the 1,000 had naturally formed their own circles. Bolin. Luo Feng looked at the white-clothed youth beside the window and smiled as he shouted. The white-clothed youth turned and glanced. He only responded and then turned his head to look at the scenery outside silently. Over the past 3 years in Yuxiang Mountain, Death God Bolin had always been a loner. He only had some contact with a few dozen people, but he rarely spoke. However, after interacting with him, Luo Feng and the others realized that even though Bolin was very cold and lonely, he was still a good person. Those few from the absolute beginning region are quite arrogant, always sticking to Bolin, as though they think they're much stronger than us. Right back when we rushed into the top 100, the virtual universe system directly picked 20 of us to fight for the top 10, they didn't even give us a chance. And it's been 3 years. These 3 years, our heaven and earth region has all improved, some of them are shocking, I'm afraid many of them are stronger than the absolute beginning region. Let's wait, anyways there's still a chance to compete. On the other side, 10 youths used genetic energy to block their voices and chatted. Unconvinced. Back when the virtual universe system first directly chose people for ranking, many geniuses were unconvinced. What's more, in these 3 years they all improved quite a bit, especially those that didn't have good techniques before. These 3 years they exchanged for techniques that suited them, their improvements were huge. They were even more confident. After more than 6 hours, all 1,000 people had gathered. Everybody please follow me. When the 1,000 people gathered, a tall, skinny, red-eyed man shrouded in an elegant white robe spoke in a hoarse voice. The aura that faintly spread out made the hearts of the 1,000 young people palpitate. They felt as if ordinary people had encountered an extremely terrifying poisonous snake. After the tall, skinny, red-eyed man left the hall, he directly spread out a vigorous and irresistible force that enveloped the 1,000 young people present. So, he immediately became a beam of light and flew for a few minutes, arriving at a peculiar ship parked on the grass patch. Only then did he release the 1,000 youths. Who? Only then did Luo Feng let out a sigh of relief. That irresistible coldness from before indeed made one's heart tremble. The other geniuses around felt the same. Everybody enter the ship. The tall and skinny red-eyed man said coldly. Luo Feng looked up and saw a peculiar ship ahead. This is a ship? Luo Feng was shocked. This ship before him was simply too peculiar. Because it was a huge fish. The dark blue fish was incomparably huge. Its tail was still waving slightly. The entire thing was a fish that was close to 1000 m long. However, this huge fish had a cabin door that opened from the belly of the ship. Through it, one could see the corridors within. Dumbfounded. Of the 1,000 geniuses, other than a few that seemed to know about this ship, the rest were all confused. Under the urging of the tall and skinny red-eyed man, they all entered through the cabin door. The inside looks like any other ship, why does it look like a fish on the outside? Luo Feng and his group walked through the corridors within the ship. F-grade universe ships are all made of pure natural metal. The ones that brought us 1,000 are all F-grade ships. Now that we're heading to the Primal Universe, this ship should at least be F-grade. Pure metal, it should be extremely sturdy. Just like a real fish. It was unbelievable. Stupid. You don't even understand this. This is a ship that's fused with other life forms. Babata's voice resounded. And it's a very high-level life form. It's at least an undying level. Like metal life forms, plant life forms, and some special races, they can fuse with the ship. This ship is much better than your teacher's Yun-Mo planet ship. If I'm not wrong, it should be beyond the F-grade, AG-grade universe ship. To be able to own such a ship, in the vast universe, would be considered an absolute being standing at the pinnacle. A ship fused with an undying-level life form? Luo Feng hadn't even reacted. He had already followed the group into the ship's hall. Within the hall, a formless pressure caused the 1,000 geniuses to not dare make a sound. Even the other 10 undyings within the ship, including the tall and skinny red-eyed man, all bowed. Luo Feng glanced at the green-armored purple-scaled man standing right at the front. Even though he stood there, he had a feeling of emptiness. It made one feel as though he was a virtual projection and not a real person. The purple-scaled man looked at the group of youths and said, "Let's go to the Primal Universe." Rumble. This huge fish-like universe ship waved its tail and immediately vanished from where it stood. Within the large hall, the 1,000 geniuses didn't dare make a sound. Against an undying, it was a pure pressure. Almost like a mountain pressing down on you. And against this purple-scaled man, even though they could see him with their naked eyes, it felt like he wasn't even there, it was completely different. This purple-scaled man didn't even intentionally release his pressure. It was purely a natural aura that made everyone feel like they had to look up to him. That was an instinctive subservience. Stop. A thunderous roar came from outside, entering the universe ship and resounding throughout the ship. Hearing the pressure within the voice, all the geniuses couldn't help but feel fear. This made the group of geniuses feel helpless. They were a group of star levels, only a few of them had just broken through to the universe level. Against these powerful beings, if they didn't restrain themselves, just one look would cause their souls to scatter. Geniuses were ultimately just geniuses and not true warriors. The path had just begun. "It's me, open the universe path." The purple-scaled man said indifferently. His voice pierced through the universe ship and resounded outside. Rumble. A low rumble resounded from outside and the ship continued forward. This feeling is unbearable. Not right. The 1,000 geniuses were all pale. Luo Feng too felt his head ache. He tried hard to open his eyes, yet he couldn't see his surroundings clearly. Right now, we're in the pathway between the primal universe and the actual universe. The purple-scaled man looked at the pale youths who were all on the ground. The time flow in the primal universe and actual universe is different. Hence, the time flow within the pathway is messed up. This will make you feel uncomfortable. The 1,000 youths, only about 300 of them could barely stand. I can't see clearly. Luo Feng bit his eyes and squinted. Wow, Luo Feng, the universe pathway, it's a legendary place. Messing up the time flow is actually like this. Even a living AI like me finds it weird. Haha, it's too mystical, simply too mystical. Babata was incomparably excited. This kind of opportunity is very rare. After about 5 to 6 minutes, the feeling of discomfort disappeared. Only then did Luo Feng regain consciousness. Luo Feng scanned his surroundings. He realized there were many people lying on the ground. Many of them were pale, tears flowing out. After which they all climbed back up, even the tears that had evaporated returned to normal. Right now, we've already entered the primal universe. The purple-scaled man smiled. Primal universe? We've already reached the primal universe? The geniuses from the many universe countries were all filled with curiosity. Even the 10 undyings that followed the purple-scaled 9-blade knight were all filled with anticipation, occasionally looking upwards. Open the top, the purple-scaled man said. Chi-chi, the metal ceiling above the hall automatically split open, revealing a transparent glass-like outermost layer. Suddenly, the ceiling of the hall became transparent, and everyone could see the outside world through the transparent layer. Luo Feng looked up too. With a glance he could see that it was dark outside, with the occasional chaotic energy flow. In the distance, he could faintly see the heaven and earth splitting apart from time to time. He could even see a large number of strange and mysterious patterns flowing at the edge of the cracked space. Threads of silk were intertwined, and the mysterious patterns on the silk threads were floating. It was like a loom weaving the heaven and earth bigger and bigger. This is. Luo Feng felt the distant space split open. There were crystal threads flowing with peculiar engravings. And the 10 undying existences all raised their heads and stared, sometimes closing their eyes to think, sometimes carefully observing. The flying shuttle continued to fly. He often saw some universe space fissures and those strange lines and mysterious runes. Stars and planets have lifespans. This universe too has a lifespan, only it's extremely long. The purple-scaled man smiled. This primal universe is a new universe that is in the beginning of the universe. During this period, the universe is constantly being perfected and formed, and the universe origin laws will be revealed. Those universe space fissures are constantly being repaired, and that's because of the universe origin laws. Within them are the various origin laws. Luo Feng and the 1,000 others were all dumbstruck as they listened. Those crystal threads that were repairing the universe space, the large amounts of engravings floating on them were all the origin laws of the universe? The universe we live in is incomparably vast, huge and perfect. The purple-scaled man said, it's because it's perfect, hence it's impossible to reveal the origin laws. Wanting to comprehend it is extremely difficult. And in the primal universe you can see it with your naked eye, and you can also see how the origin laws merge perfectly with each other, how the universe is formed, how the laws work, everything can be seen directly, hence comprehending it is much easier. The slots to study the primal universe are incomparably precious. The purple-scaled man said, glancing at the 10 undyings. The 10 undyings all looked up, obviously treasuring every bit of time. Close. The purple-scaled man said. The roof immediately closed. Actually, looking at the threads of engravings floating in the space fissures, Luo Feng understood that the external simulation was unable to simulate it. That was because the engravings not only required one's eyes to see but also to feel. Just relying on technology to simulate it wouldn't be possible. If it was possible, then there wouldn't be a need to enter the primal universe one by one. We'll be reaching Primal Chaos City in a while. The purple-scaled man said, Primal Chaos City is the place where those who enter the primal universe live and train. You are all brought here by me. I hope to see you all alive in 30 years. We'll die. Is there danger? Luo Feng and the others were suspicious. Remember, after entering Primal Chaos City, listen to the messenger, listen to the rules. We've arrived. The purple-scaled man finished, and the universe ship began to descend. This huge fish traversed through the vast universe space. The moment the roof closed, the huge fish flew above an ancient city, the fish's belly door opened and the 1,000 geniuses flew out. After which the door closed, the huge fish flicked its tail and immediately disappeared into the distance. This primal universe feels so special. It feels so comfortable. Right, it's extremely comfortable. The group of youths stood in mid-air. Luo Feng looked down at the ancient majestic city below. As a city built in the primal universe, it gave off a heavy feeling. In the distance a black light flew over. Attention all, I'm the messenger of Primal Chaos City. A low voice resounded. A black-robed man with a head covered in green scales flew over, after which he stopped and smiled. This city is called Primal Chaos City. It's existed even longer than most of your universe countries. Right now it's managed by the Virtual Universe Company, Battleaxe Dojo, Universe First Bank, Universe Galaxy Bank and the Universe Mercenary Alliance. Silence. The 1,000 youths all looked at this messenger of Primal Chaos City. Follow me. The messenger smiled and flew down. The 1,000 flew down from the sky and landed on the streets of Primal Chaos City. The streets were enough for 10 people to walk side by side. Primal Chaos City has existed for a long time. The messenger walked at the front, explaining as he walked, coming to Primal Chaos City to train has already birthed many absolute beings. Luo Feng looked around. Within Primal Chaos City were many little buildings. Many of the balconies had humans with different appearances sitting crossed-legged. Some of them were carving something on the balconies. The powerful auras were much stronger than sector lords. Some of them were mumbling something. Luo Feng looked up at the sky. In the sky, near the furthest universe space crevice, one could vaguely see many beings standing in mid-air. Occasionally these beings would look down at Luo Feng's group. Another group of punks has arrived. It's the 11th messenger. Those are the punks from the Virtual Universe Company. I heard that this time the Virtual Universe Company has recruited a youth called Bolin. He's not bad. At the edge of the space crevice, a few powerful beings stood and chatted. Luo Feng and his group of punks were all very low profile. They could feel that there were many Undyings here. And the Undyings were still very reserved, not daring to release their auras. However, the entire Primal Chaos City had 10 powerful auras rushing into the sky. Even Luo Feng and his group could clearly feel them. Almost like 10 absolute ferocious beasts, occupying different areas of Primal Chaos City. In Primal Chaos City, there are many absolute beings. The messenger turned and said, "Do not ever disturb them from studying the origin laws. The moment you disturb them, we can only send you out of the Primal Universe, ending your chance to study." The group nodded. After receiving the envoy, he went straight into an unoccupied small building. There are many little buildings in Primal Chaos City. If the doors are pale white, it means there's no owner here. The messenger pointed at the door. As long as you place your hand on the door for a moment, the door's sensory system will automatically activate, causing the door to turn dark gray. You will automatically become the owner of the building, and the information will be automatically recorded. Everyone can only choose one place. Following which, he led the messenger to the balcony. The balcony was huge, with a length and width of close to 100 m, enough for 1,000 people to stand. This is. Luo Feng saw many engravings on the balcony's floor. Many of them were mysterious. This. Luo Feng looked carefully, immersed within. Many youths were immersed within. Space origin laws. This contains the space origin laws. Many youths shouted. Attention all. The messenger's voice resounded within everyone's mind. Everyone's souls jolted awake. Primal Chaos City, generation after generation of countless powerful beings, sit on the balcony and study. During the process they would carve. Hence they left behind many engravings of these powerful beings pondering on the origin laws. If you are interested in this, the majority of the buildings in Primal Chaos City are currently unoccupied. You can go from building to study. Who knows, some of them might even be left behind by the knights. The group of youths' eyes gleamed. First, I have to tell you a very important rule. The messenger emphasized, in the Primal Universe, humans are forbidden from killing each other. Whoever makes a move will die without a doubt. No matter who it is, even if he's a universe country leader, he cannot challenge the rules of Primal Chaos City. Understood. The group of youths nodded. The Primal Universe and the actual universe, the time ratio is 1:3.28. The black-robed messenger smiled. Your study time this time is a little more than 30 years. Time is precious, don't waste it. The black-robed emissary immediately jumped down from the balcony, landing on the ground below. Immediately the other 1,000 geniuses all jumped down, almost like a huge swarm of locusts, covering the sky and land, landing on the wide street in front of the villa. Follow me to the city leader's mansion. The black-robed emissary said, that's where the city leader lives and also the core of Primal Chaos City. City leader? Luo Feng was shocked as he heard, as the only city in the Primal Universe, Primal Chaos City's history was even older than many of the universe countries. Such an ancient city leader. His position was obvious. To be able to hold this position, his power definitely wouldn't be any weaker than those universe country leaders. Rumble? In the distance, a 30-meter-tall, single-horned monster covered in crimson scales walked over. The monster seemed to take up more than half of the street, and on the back of the monster stood a young man with short violet hair. He wore dark blue battle armor and dark blue battle boots, and he carried an enormous violet warblade on his back as he looked up at the sky. The black-robed emissary bowed respectfully to show his respect. The 1,000 youths watched the beast leave. Beast taming? Primal Chaos City can even bring beasts here? The group of youths couldn't help but discuss softly. The black-robed emissary smiled. That person before is an eternal undying resident of Primal Chaos City. As an eternal resident, he has the right to bring beasts here. Eternal? I heard, for undying warriors to enter and study, even one spot is incomparably expensive. The youths were all shocked. Luo Feng couldn't help but say, how is that possible? His own teacher, who was considered a powerful warrior amongst the undying in the universe, even he couldn't afford a spot to enter the Primal Universe. However, that youth before was an eternal resident? Nothing is impossible. The black-robed emissary smiled. As long as one has great contributions or is extremely powerful, as long as one is recognized by the Alliance, one can become an eternal resident. Luo Feng thought within, Alliance? Right, this Primal Chaos City was jointly managed by the 5 great Leviathans. The so-called Alliance was probably the alliance of the 5 Leviathans. May I ask, how does one become an eternal resident? Within the crowd, the Manka Prince Wuka shouted. The conditions are extremely harsh. The black-robed emissary smiled. When you become undying, you'll know what the conditions are. Asking now is useless. The black-robed emissary led the bustling crowd of youngsters from various races through the streets. It was indeed a sight. However, Luo Feng realized that the warriors training on the balconies of the villas on both sides of the street, only a few opened their eyes to look at them. Most of them were immersed in their training. Many of them had long beards and hair, as if they hadn't been trimmed for hundreds or thousands of years. The city lord's mansion is up ahead. The black-robed emissary pointed ahead. Luo Feng looked up. It was a majestic structure that was about 300 m tall. From afar, one could see the three glaring universe language words in the main residence. City leader's residence. Looking at those words, one couldn't help but be drawn in. It was almost as though those words formed a space within, a universe of its own. His entire spirit was constantly being sucked into the universe space within those words, scaring Luo Feng so much that he didn't dare lower his head to look. Everyone should only look at the three big words City Lord Mansion once. Don't look at it too often. The black-robed emissary laughed. This will make your mind go blank. Even undying beings don't dare stare at you for long. Oh, it's that mystical? The geniuses who hadn't noticed the three words earlier all looked up curiously. With one look they all fell for it. Haha. The black-robed emissary couldn't help but laugh loudly when he saw this. Usually when dealing with absolute beings he had to be more restrained. However, dealing with these punks was much easier. As they got closer they walked further and further. Even though they walked quickly, it took a few minutes before they reached the entrance of the residence. With one look, they could see that the entire residence was filled with black-robed emissaries entering and exiting. Occasionally they could see undyings and sector lords entering and exiting the residence. Primal Chaos City is the only city in the Primal Universe. The black-robed emissary smiled. In Primal Chaos City, there are 3 treasures. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed, listening carefully. The first of the 3 treasures, everyone knows. Naturally it's the universe origin laws that can be seen with the naked eye. The black-robed emissary smiled. As for the second treasure, it's within the city within the residence. The third treasure is outside the city. Just what treasure is it? A group of youths couldn't help but ask. The black-robed emissary pointed to the surroundings. For billions of years there have been many experts living here. When they were cultivating, they would often have a flash of inspiration, and they would carve it on the ground in front of them. Then they would carefully ponder over it, and if they gained something they would carve it down. Luo Feng nodded within. Indeed, comprehending the origin laws was similar to a flash of inspiration. Suddenly comprehending something and carving it down, the pictures were much more vivid than words. Just like some people, after writing a line of words on a piece of paper, even after a few years looking at the words, they would still be able to recall what they were thinking when they first wrote it. And if it was printed on a computer looking at it a few years later, it would be hard to remember what they wrote it for. Personally, drawing a picture was an extremely good way to comprehend. Primal Chaos City, over countless years, has formed such a tradition. The black-robed emissary exclaimed, as it's purely a casual recording there are no rules. Many of the carvings are just bits and pieces, hence most of them can only be used for reference. However, over 1 trillion years, amongst the countless carvings, there are still a few that have very strong and systematic training value. The black-robed emissary said solemnly, in my Primal Chaos City, there are the most precious 52 Primal Chaos tablets. Each tablet has large amounts of mysterious diagrams etc. These 52 Primal Chaos tablets are 52 different types of cultivation daos that lead directly to the pinnacle. If one comprehends a tablet, then one will immediately become a true absolute being in the universe. Even if you want to open a universe country, it would be a simple matter. Luo Feng couldn't help but hold his breath. The surrounding savage Rongjun the Manka youth, over 1,000 youths were all excited. 52 Primal Chaos tablets, containing the path to the pinnacle. Comprehending one could open a universe country? These 52 Primal Chaos tablets are the second treasure of our Primal Chaos City. The black-robed emissary smiled. As for the third treasure, it's just outside Primal Chaos City. The stone tablet at the entrance has a detailed description. You'll know when you go take a look. The group of people were filled with anticipation. The first and second treasures were very beneficial to everyone. The third treasure wouldn't be too far off. 52 Primal Chaos tablets. The black-robed emissary said, every warrior that enters the Primal Universe has 1 chance to study it. Everyone has 7 days. 7 days? The group of people stared. That short? The Primal Chaos tablet is humanity's treasure. More than any technique, it clearly conveys the path to the pinnacle. 7 days of study is enough for you. The black-robed emissary headed towards the entrance of the city leader's residence. Enter and prepare to study the tablet. The space of the city leader's residence was huge. Even the balcony of the normal training quarters was 100 m long and wide. One could only imagine how huge the residence was. Everyone can only choose 1 tablet to study. The black-robed emissary led Luo Feng and the others. Very quickly they arrived at a dreamy hallway. The walls on both sides of the hallway were hung with huge pictures. Luo Feng knew with a glance that there were a total of 52 pictures. There are 52 rubbing pictures on the walls. Every picture corresponds to a Primal Chaos tablet. Look at these pictures first. Even though they can't transmit the energy of the tablet, they can still let you feel a little. Look at these 52 pictures, and decide which tablet to choose. The black-robed emissary said. The group of youths looked at the pictures on both sides of the hallway. They were dumbfounded. so it was to choose the tablet based on the pictures. Every picture was a standard 10 long and 10 wide. There were even names beside the pictures. I'll give you half an hour. The black-robed emissary stood at the outermost part of the hallway. Luo Feng and the group could only begin to look. Luo Feng randomly chose a picture and began to look. This first picture was of an ancient sky-reaching tree. Its leaves were already withered and yellow. Countless leaves were falling. This picture had withered leaves floating in mid-air. With Luo Feng's consciousness calculation, he could instantly deduce that there were definitely over 10,000 leaves. On the picture, withered leaves after withered leaves. The tree branches had leaves attached to them. The ground was filled with fallen leaves. Watching and watching. Luo Feng felt that the yellow leaves floating in mid-air were like soldiers, forming an army formation. That incomparably complicated army formation. 100 leaves forming a complicated little formation. Adding another leaf, 101 leaves made the formation even more miraculous. 1 minute is up. Babata's voice awoke within Luo Feng's mind. Luo Feng, you only have half an hour to look at all the pictures. Every picture can't exceed 1 minute. Understood. Luo Feng awoke and looked at the name on the picture. Ancestor Mother Primal Chaos Tablet. This made Luo Feng crease his eyebrows. Ancestor Mother? What does it have to do with the Ancestor Mother planet? He didn't dare think too much. After all, he had a total of 52 pictures to look at. Luo Feng went to look at the other pictures. After all, he had to find the most suitable Primal Chaos Tablet in a short half an hour. After all, the most suitable one for himself. Only then would his training efficiency be higher. As for the Ancestor Mother Primal Chaos Tablet, Luo Feng felt a headache just looking at it. 101 leaves compared to 100 leaves, the formation could be changed by 100 times. Those tens of thousands of leaves, it was unimaginable to what level they would evolve to. Picture after picture, there was silence. The 1,000 geniuses were all like starving wolves. Their eyes gleamed as they stared at the pictures. Before, everyone was still unhappy about choosing the Primal Chaos Tablet. However, after looking, they were all mesmerized. Luckily, everyone had their quantum computers to remind them. Otherwise, they would only be able to look at one picture in half an hour. Luo Feng stared at the large picture before him. On the picture there were many blade scars. Every scar gave off a different feeling. The entire picture had a total of 10,081 scars. The corresponding Primal Chaos Tablet was called the Scarred Heart Primal Chaos Tablet. Alright, half an hour is up. Tell me which Primal Chaos Tablet you chose. I'll record it down. The black-robed man shouted. I choose the Dragon Form Primal Chaos Tablet. I choose the Wind Shadow Primal Chaos Tablet. The black-robed messenger walked from the outermost area of the walkway, simultaneously asking the choices of every genius. Behind him, Luo Feng frowned, his gaze sweeping past the 52 pictures. Honestly, out of these 52 pictures, there were 38 that he could easily get addicted to, including the Ancestor Mother Primal Chaos Tablet. Even though the tablet made him addicted, it was after all a complicated path of evolution. Most suitable for me? Luo Feng looked at the distant picture on his left before looking at the picture on his right. In the distance was his favorite 9-universe Primal Chaos Tablet, and beside him was the Scarred Heart Primal Chaos Tablet. When Luo Feng looked at the 9-universe Primal Chaos Tablet, his entire being was filled with excitement. He felt that the 9-universe Primal Chaos Tablet was extremely suitable for the Nanshin armament to unleash, slightly changing it would allow him to comprehend close combat techniques. And the Scarred Heart Primal Chaos Tablet, when Luo Feng looked at it, he could faintly see sets and sets of blade techniques appearing within his mind. Those 10081 blade scars could be said to be the pinnacle of blade techniques. So which do I choose? Luo Feng frowned. They all wanted to train. Of which the 9-universe Primal Chaos Tablet was more suitable for the Nanshin armament, while the Scarred Heart Primal Chaos Tablet was more suitable for blade techniques. Of course his current strength was still very weak, he could only see the surface of these two incomparably profound Primal Chaos Tablets. One had to know that the 52 Primal Chaos Tablets were all paths to the pinnacle. Logically speaking, every Primal Chaos Tablet could comprehend close combat and long-range attacks. He's here. Luo Feng turned to look. The black-robed messenger had already recorded over 700 people. He had already walked to Luo Feng's side, looking up at him. Which one do you choose? The black-robed messenger asked. I choose the 9-universe Primal Chaos Tablet. Luo Feng said seriously. The black-robed messenger nodded, the screen on his arm immediately recorded it, after which he looked at another person beside him. Even though the Scarred Heart Primal Chaos Tablet and the 9-universe Tablet are both my favorites, and my close combat abilities are improving quickly, my strongest point is undoubtedly my long-range attacks. Right now my close combat has improved, is only because the Masha clansman is training the illusionary techniques. A true warrior doesn't need to be strong in every aspect. If they are strong in every aspect, it means they aren't that strong. Enhance the advantage. Constantly strengthening his advantages, turning them into absolute advantages. This was what it meant to be an expert. Furthermore, the Scarred Heart Primal Chaos Tablet only begins with the Metal Origin Grand Tao. The 9-universe Primal Chaos Tablet, on the other hand, starts from the fundamental laws of space. Of the many origin laws, time and space were undoubtedly the strongest. If he had to choose, he would choose the stronger one. The black-robed messenger walked to the end of the corridor. After he finished recording, he turned around and said with a smile, I have already sent out your choices. Come with me. Luo Feng and the other 1,000 followed the black-robed emissary and left the corridor. After a while, they arrived at a spacious training field in the city leader's mansion. The training field was extremely spacious. It was at least 10 kilometers wide. If it was a normal person on Earth, they wouldn't be able to see the end of it. Of course, Luo Feng and the others could see it clearly. On the empty training field, 1,000 people gathered together with the black-robed messenger standing in front of them. Right now, out of the 52 secret rooms, 12 of them are occupied. The other 40 rooms are empty. The black-robed messenger looked at the group before him. Right now, I'll announce the names of these 40 Primal Chaos Tablets. Yen Mountain Primal Chaos Tablet, Scarred Heart Primal Chaos Tablet. The black-robed messenger swiftly announced the names of the 40 Primal Chaos Tablets in one breath. Those who have chosen these 40 Primal Chaos Tablets, head straight to the most left entrance ahead. You will be arranged to enter each room. The black-robed messenger pointed into the distance. At the end of the training field on the left, there was an entrance close to 30 m tall. Right now you can head over. Immediately, at least 800 of the 1,000 youths became beams of light and left. There were only 100 youths left in the training field. The 139 of you wait first. The black-robed messenger said, the Primal Chaos Tablets you have chosen are currently being studied. When others are studying, it is forbidden to open the room and disturb them. Once the others are done studying, you can enter. The 139 of you will have to wait at most for 3 days. How about this? Head up to the tower of the city leader's mansion first. The black-robed messenger pointed ahead. Over there, train there first. When it's your turn, I'll inform you. Luo Feng, Savage Rongjun and the other 139 youths could only head towards the tower. How unlucky. 52 Primal Chaos Tablets, only 12 of them are being studied. It's actually our turn. Walking along the way, the 100 youths were helpless. Savage Rongjun smiled at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, you and I are really brothers in the same boat. We entered the top 10 together and fell together in the battle for the top 5. Even choosing the Primal Chaos Tablets, we met people at the same time. Luo Feng nodded and asked, what did you choose? Me? Huge Axe Primal Chaos Tablet. Savage Rongjun said. Rongjun, I too chose the Huge Axe Primal Chaos Tablet. The Menka youth Wuka who was talking to the others shouted. He ran over and said softly, Luo Feng, Rongjun, do you know who left this Huge Axe Primal Chaos Tablet behind? Every Primal Chaos Tablet was left behind by the pinnacle existences of humanity in the history of the universe. 52 Primal Chaos Tablets had become humanity's treasures. Who? Rongjun asked. Don't tell me it has something to do with the Huge Axe Colosseum? Luo Feng thought and asked. Right? Wuka nodded and said softly, this Huge Axe Primal Chaos Tablet was left behind by one of the 5 great powers, the founder of the Huge Axe Colosseum. It contains unbelievable power. The moment one fully comprehends it, that's simply heaven-defying. You are the pinnacle of existence in the entire universe. The founder of the Huge Axe Colosseum? Luo Feng and Rongjun glanced at each other. My God. The 5 great leviathans of humanity. If one wanted to rank the 5 leviathans, one could actually tell from one small thing. The entire 1008 universe countries of humanity, every 10,000 years, there would be 2 genius battles. One was held by the Virtual Universe Company and the other by the Huge Axe Colosseum. The most exceptional geniuses would be chosen by these 2. And the Universe First Bank, Universe Galaxy Bank and the Universe Mercenary Alliance didn't do so. Which of these 5 leviathans was stronger? The Virtual Universe Company and the Huge Axe Colosseum naturally had the advantage. And as the founder of the Huge Axe Colosseum, his position was much higher than the 1008 universe country leaders. Hence I chose the Huge Axe Primal Chaos Tablet. Wuka said proudly, and amongst the Sector Lords and Undyings, most of them chose the Huge Axe Primal Chaos Tablet. Haha. Rongjun laughed. Luo Feng curled his lips. Of course, the other 52 Primal Chaos Tablets aren't normal either, otherwise they wouldn't have the right to be placed alongside the Huge Axe Primal Chaos Tablet. Wuka consoled Luo Feng. Luo Feng, focus on studying the 9 Universe Tablet, you still have a bright future ahead of you. Saying that, Wuka clutched his stomach and laughed. You punk. Luo Feng shook his head. In the tower of the city leader's residence. Luo Feng and the over 100 others stood in the tower, gazing into the distance. It was too huge. The entire Primal Chaos City was extremely huge. As for the distant area outside the city, it was already a blurry mess, one couldn't see clearly at all. The main thing was, the entire Primal Chaos universe had large amounts of chaos energy. These energy currents made one unable to see too far. How comfortable. This Primal Universe is much more comfortable than the actual universe. The group of youths discussed. Luo Feng too felt that coming to the Primal Universe, his entire body was incomparably comfortable from the inside out, from his mind to his body. This is because of the Primal Universe. In the distance, a middle-aged man dressed in a loose purple gold long robe walked over. You are the new batch of winners from the Virtual Universe Company's Genius Competition? Luo Feng and the rest of the 139 nodded. The reason why you all feel so comfortable is because of this. The middle-aged man pointed at the chaos energy that floated past. This has been named the chaos energy by us. It's different from the various universe energies in the actual universe, it's different from the mixed universe energies too. The chaos energy is a special energy that nurtures the living beings. You all will definitely feel comfortable surrounded by the chaos energy. The middle-aged man smiled. Luo Feng and the rest understood. However, this energy is only present in the Primal Universe. The purple gold long-robed middle-aged man shook his head. Even if we bring this energy back to the actual universe, it would immediately break down into other energies. When Luo Feng and the group of youths were discussing with this warrior on the tower, suddenly, rumble, in the distance, there was an intense ripple in the primal chaos land. The sound caused the land and skies to tremble. Ways? A raging roar resounded throughout the sky of Primal Chaos City. A terrifying thunder energy immediately pierced through 10 million li, causing all the warriors in the balconies within the city to open their eyes and look into the distance. Luo Feng and the rest who were suppressed by the powerful energy until their faces were pale white stood shocked on the tower, gazing into the distance. In the distance, an incomparably tall and sturdy bull man dressed in bronze armor, almost like a god of the land and skies, wielding a huge axe that was comparable to his own body, he waved the bloody huge axe straight at an absolute being that was fleeing with his entire body covered in thunder. That thunder energy was emitted from that absolute being as he was fleeing. Silence. Luo Feng and the rest were completely stunned by the two absolute beings' energy in the distance. They actually dare to fight in Primal Chaos City? The purple gold long-robed middle-aged man looked into the distance, shocked. Why is this bull man so stupid?